Hey guys, welcome back. Thanks for tuning back in. Glad you can make it. Hope you're doing good and having a great day. And she is also glad that you guys made it back too. She wanted some more airtime, and so here she is getting it, stealing the spotlight, of course, as she always does. Um, but she just wanted to come up here and lay with me because God forbid she's without me a second. Um, so, but today we're gonna be talking about what it actually means to put her in her place. Okay, and no, it's not about telling her off. Okay. It's not about telling her to shut the fuck up. It's not about um, what most people would consider putting her in her place. Right. But there are a few different things that most people don't really tend to think about when we're talking about putting her in her place. Okay. Um, and I don't necessarily really like to use that phrasing, putting her in her place. Um, I more so like to use um, taking control, taking the lead, right? And I say that because what it really means to put her in her place just means that you are stepping up into yours. That's what it means, right? Um, when it comes to confrontation, obviously, you tell her to shut the fuck up. There are certain times when you do tell her to shut the fuck up, especially when it calls for it, right? Emergency situations, like confrontation, like I said. But then again, if she's being confrontational, there's a high chance that she just doesn't really respect you to begin with, right? Um, could be could be a few different reasons to why she doesn't really respect you to begin with. Um, but more often than not, it's just her attractiveness. Well, her attractiveness to you, not attractiveness. Um, and so, a lot of guys find themselves in situations, maybe in marriages or already in committed relationships, where their girls found them attractive before, but now it's turned into something different. Maybe they gained a bunch of weight, or maybe they happen to have changed over time, right? And in a way that they kind of stepped out of that masculine head of the household role. And believe me, boys, whenever you do that, dude, your woman will lose so much respect for you, so much respect for you. So listen, boys, we have to stay fit. We have to get fit if we're not fit. We got to stay fit, right? We got to make sure we're on our A game all the time, right? Since women rely on us, they have to they have to believe that they can trust our leadership, right? And in any instance that we're not doing that is when we start reaping the repercussions of that. And so, kind of piggyback off of that, this is leading me into uh, putting her in her place essentially, because to start off with, it's more of a reassurance, right? Because as I was saying a few moments ago, that when women do these things, it's to reassure themselves that they are right, that they can trust your leadership. Um, and so there are a few situations when that can really show, right, that you are capable. Um, because women women really like to hear things, right? Words of affirmation is very important to women, but also um, showing, I guess, right? Showing someone something, right? Action, directiveness is something that women also really pay attention to as well. Um, so I would say even more so than words of affirmation. But in certain situations, emergency situations, right, when she has to rely on you to do your job, and you do, you gain so much more respect, right? And then she begins to let you take the lead, right, on more and more and more, or excuse me, not let you. She understands that you are capable of doing the things, right, that needs to be done as far as being a man is concerned and in a relationship. And therefore, she becomes more comfortable with you having the reins of almost everything. Um, I'm telling you that that reassurance and security in a relationship is something that is almost irresistible to women. Almost irresistible. Okay. When something happens, right, and you look at her and you say, "Hey, I got this. Don't you worry about a thing. I'll tell you what I need, right, from you, and then we'll be fine. I'll take care of the rest." Boom, boom. I'm telling you, dude, that that is irresistible to women. Women love a man with a plan. They love a man with a plan, and they love a guy who is capable and who is on his shit. Okay? A guy who can take care of the situation. And so that reassurance right there will go a long way. Will go a long way, right? Um especially when it comes to not even emergencies, right? I mean, of course, emergencies, but not even something as extreme as that. But um, something as simple as choosing what she wants to eat for dinner, right? Um, there's a YouTuber. Uh, there's I follow him, so I mean I don't know him personally, but there's a YouTuber by the name of A Legion of Men, run by a man called Bo Refik. For those of you who don't know, um, but great great guy seems like, anyways. Um, and he gave us a little bit of a glimpse into his life, and he mentions that, often his woman, his wife, will hand him the menu and tell him to pick for her, right? And so when it comes to that reassurance, right, that she just hands you something, right, to pick and choose for her, that's a level of trust that you must not break at all, right? So you have to know your partner. You have to know your partner, right? So make sure you are vigilant in that relationship to understand how she responds to things. Um, what are her likes, or excuse me, what are her likes? What are her dislikes, right? Get to know your partner, the ins and outs, right? Um, and the more you know that person, the more you can make decisions for them, right? Um, thoughtful. It's all about thoughtfulness, really. When you think when you really think about it, right? Because when you make decisions for your woman, right, and give her that reassurance, it's showing her that you think of her constantly enough to um, show her that you are capable, right, of leading the relationship, and that you care about her enough, right, to know her needs specifically, so that you can take care of them, as as the head of the house should do, right? And so that is very important when it comes to traditional relationships. Um, and so that is a few instances of right, putting her in her place, essentially, right. um Now the other one, which is also exciting, is the sexual part, or I should say the intimate part of putting her in her place. A lot of the times when we do think about putting her in her place too, is also in a sexual demeanor. um and uh I'm telling you guys, Another thing that is absolutely irresistible to women too is if you are um, obviously not predatorily forceful, right? But you are forceful in a way that is attractive, right? Dominating, I guess, is a better word. You know, you guys are having kind of a hot and heavy situation, right? And you don't ask, you just do. Okay, you go for the neck. Not like I would just fucking hate choking her. You know, I mean, there are some women out there that are like that. I don't understand why, but um, you know, there are some basement dwellers that really enjoy that shit, and you guys are freaks, man. You guys are absolute freaks. So I I wouldn't even mess with them chicks. But anyways, um, a little bit of you know, just a little bit of play, you know, grabbing of the hair, you know, tracing your hands, right, picking her up, pushing her onto the wall, you know, holding her up to the wall, um, you know, kind of uh, holding her as you're moving down to the bed or whatever, throwing her, just being dominating, really, you know. That shit goes a long way too, you know. Um, Women want to be able to hand the control over to you. They want you to do that. Um, but on the other hand, too, you have to be capable of assuming that control and maintaining that control, right? Um, it's that is also reassuring to women too, is that when they know that their man is capable of not just dominating them, but dominating any other, not mounting them, obviously, but let's get that straight, man. We're not dogs. What are you looking at me like that for? She's day one, she's gonna quit, man. She already got airtime, right? And now she's gonna file an HR complaint. Shit. Anyways, but you are also able to, you know, beat the shit out of if you're able to beat the shit out of every other guy in the room, right, and handle your shit and dominate her at the same time, or capable of dominating her as well, I should say, you you're already on top. Okay, you're already considered um, attractive to her. Okay, um, and so she's naturally going to give you the reins. She's naturally going to trust your leadership, right? As women, as you know, a good woman should. Um, and so it's not that. Well, I mean, it is actually that she is. It's not that she's less than as less important, because women are extremely important, actually more so than men are. The reason for well, I wouldn't say more or less important. I would say just as important. The reason for that is obviously because of the ability to um, carry children, but I would also say not men and women are complementary. Okay, I think that's a better way to put it. Um, Women are not as capable as men are when it comes to physical labor, um, fighting, especially fighting, or I should say just protection. Uh, but where they are weak in, they are, you know, obviously going to be very strong in their own um, their own right. You know, their own places, right? Same thing for men. You know, household duties. That's not really for us, right? Our duty is outside the home, right? We're more capable when it comes to physical labor, when it comes to protection and stuff like that. Basic biology shit, guys. Come on. And so um, when we play to those natural roles, right? Everybody's happy. Everybody is happy, right? As long as she doesn't have to worry about anything, anything at all, right? And can she can be a woman, you guys are fine. You guys are set, right? And so, but you also have to make sure that you can do that, right? So that means always stay on your A game. And with that, a little bit deeper than that, because okay, well, on my A game, fuck does that mean? That doesn't exactly help me. Um, well, what that means is staying on top of bills, right? If money's a little short, you find a way to make a little bit more money. Um, Sometimes at the expense of sleep. It happens to all of us, right? It happens with myself, right? Just today, I took a nap for the first time in a long time, actually. I think it was about an hour or two, maybe something like that. But I have never really been able to take naps. But um, I went to a flea market earlier today, made some pretty good cash, and came back, was pretty tired. Um, I was wanting to go to the gym today. I was wanting to start the 30-day challenge today again, but I was in so much pain. I didn't really feel like going, so I decided to just kind of indulge a little bit today, and then tomorrow is when I'm going to start the 30-day challenge. Um, so there's that. Um, but sometimes you have to take those. You absolutely have to take those measures. Um, the reason why a lot of the men back in the day were so respected is because they ran their bodies rugged, right, to make sure that their families were taken care of, right. But also at the end of the day, um, it's not that they ruled with an iron fist, um, but they kind of ruled with an iron fist, if that makes sense, right. It's not that they had um, oppressed anything, right? But they wasn't going to take any disrespect at all, right? And things were going to run the way that they were supposed to run in the house. Um, and if it's not, something's going to be done about it, right? So you have to be that kind of guy. You absolutely have to be that kind of guy. Okay. You always have to make sure she is reassured in your capability when it comes to being the head of household, right? And again, that's in a lot of many different aspects that I had already listed before, right? Emotional, psychological, and sexual. Spiritual as well, right? That's a really big one. Um, Now for my religious guys out there, um, or a relationship with your God, because I know a lot of Christians will say I'm not religious. I have a relationship, which is fine, you know. But anyways, um, spirituality is also really important to women as well. Um, for those who are religious, relationship, I guess. But absolutely leading the family spiritually as well. Just a leadership role, just in general, right? If she happens to have any questions about spirituality, right, about doctrine, about um, understanding, right, then she comes to you. She comes to you. Anything historical as well. Um, she comes to you, right, and that's also reassuring her that you are capable of guiding and leading, her in the right direction. And so, there are many different ways, right, to put her in her place, essentially. Um, but putting her in her place isn't a negative connotation. It's not something demeaning. It's not something that's supposed to really be demonizing, right? Because naturally, women who find you attractive, right, are going to fall in that place anyways. They're going to fall into their own place anyways. And how many women openly see a guy that they're attracted to, right, and then either subconsciously or very openly beg him to put them in their place, right? So happens a lot. A lot of women think about this. They absolutely do, right? Because most women, they don't want to work. They don't they don't want to make any hard decisions. They don't want to do any of the hard shit. They don't want to do that. Most women want to be the stay-at-home wife. They want to be, the mother that's chasing around rugrats, and that's taking care of the home. They don't want to go out and work, right? And spend less time away from their family. And so, but then again, on the other side of that too is the economics. So, yeah, but um, absolutely, yeah, uh, putting her in her place. It's not anything really. You shouldn't really look at putting her in her place as anything bad. Um, and so, for my lady out there that watches the channel, my lady out there that's on the home turf, um, on the other side of that too, right? For my ladies, listen, if he is capable of leading and if he has shown you, right? Because that's really big when it's not just saying, it's showing, right? And he's shown you on numerous occasions that he is, or that he is capable of your trust when it comes to leading the relationship. You gotta give him that respect, okay? And only in the instance that he breaks that trust should you really either have a conversation with that or begin your exit plan, okay? um so look, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. You have to be able to play the game, and that's for both men and women. All right. At the end of the day, these relationships, they are transactional. They are very transactional. Everything has a condition. Everything does. And if you're not playing the role that you need to play, there's no need for the relationship. So, um, just respect that part about him, okay? That he's able to lead you in the right direction. And I'm telling you, if you have the reins, as soon as you hand over that reins, it's like the world is lifted off of your shoulders. And that is where women are really able to let their hair down, right? And truly become happy in the relationship. The reason why a lot of women aren't happy in relationships at this point in time is because they're not able to be women, right? They're having to play the role of a man as well, right? They're having to step out of their femininity and become something else that they weren't designed for, right? And whether you believe that we were designed for whatever or not, I think we were designed by, or maybe not designed, but um, we evolved in a way, perhaps designed by nature. I don't know, but whatever you believe, right? This is the way that it works. Um, and so, gotta keep that in mind, right? Um, but if he's not, obviously you have to talk with him, right? Be direct, because men understand direct. Men understand directness. Do not ever just drop hints. It doesn't work. It does not work with men. Okay? We don't think like women do. So if there's an issue, you come to him directly. Hey, this is what I'm dealing with. Okay? This is a problem, and I would like to address it. I would like to sit down and talk with you about it. Okay? You're gonna have a lot more respect from your man If you do that instead of being confrontational, right, and just expecting him to figure it out, because that never works. That's only you blowing up the relationship. Okay. Part of being in your place as the woman, right, is coming to him. Okay. Coming to him, right, and giving him the reins, the direction, right, of the relationship. Um, but also, if you have a problem, right, you come to him about it. Okay. It's it's a co-op. Okay. For those of you who like games, it's a co-op, right? Um, it's um it's supposed to be team effort. It's right. It's supposed to be teamwork. And so, um, if you're not absolutely 100% open, then well, with communication, then the relationship's going to fall apart. Okay. So, um, but also believe him when he says he's got something, he's got it. Okay. And if he's shown you that he's got it, you respect that. Um, but boys, also make sure that if you tell her you got it, you better make sure you got it. Okay. You better make sure you got it. Okay. Sometimes you fall flat on your face. It happens, right? But don't let it be all the time. Don't let it even be most of the time. And don't let it be half the time. Okay. Okay. Maybe once in like 10 years do you ever fall on your face. Okay. Maybe once. But you better make sure you're on your A game. All right. So to kind of wrap things up, to put women in their place, right, is to reassure them that they can trust your leadership. To reassure them that it is okay for them to hand the reins over to you and to be a woman. So, and that means in a lot of different areas. When it comes to bills, you're on your shit when it comes to bills. When it comes to protection, you're on your shit when it comes to that. You can beat the shit out of every guy in the room. When it comes to intimacy, when it comes to sex, you can dominate the shit out of her and leave her with shaken knees, shaken legs for a while. Okay. That's when you know you've done your job. And also when it comes to emotional, psychological aspects, if she's having a mental breakdown over maybe a loss in the family, if she's having right some tough for or excuse me some tough time, right, some tough times with maybe some drama within the family or maybe her friends or whatnot, you're able to handle that situation. Maybe uh because we all have drama with friends, we all have drama with family. It happens, man. It's life. But you're able to handle that situation, no problem. Especially when it comes to death in the family or friends, you have to be stoic. Or maybe it's the death of a pet, right? You must be stoic. Absolutely, you must be immovable, right? When she sees, when she sees that you do not crack under the most intense of pressure, she's gonna fall in her place, right? And that is below the head of household. Okay. Again, it's not that she is it's not that she is beneath you, right? But understand that you are the one that provides and protects. Okay. You are the one that goes out and provides the resources. You go, you work, right? Whether it's very laborious jobs or entrepreneurship or whatever. You go out there and get the resources to bring home to her, right? Um, and you are capable again of beating the shit out of every guy in the room and protecting her at the same time, right? That is where you would be considered to be better than her. That's why she is with you in the first place, right? Women always date up. They never date across. They never date down. Well, it's they do date across. They do date down, but it's very rare because at that point in time, it's usually because they couldn't find any other options. But I'm telling you, if they can date up, most, if not all of them, are going to date up. So that's why you are considered to be better, right? But not necessarily um, better in value, right? Or less in value, because women have the capability of bearing children, right? And that by default makes them of equal value to begin with. Okay. That's why a king has always had a queen or concubines. So that being said, boys, make sure you're on your A game. Okay. Um, you can put her in her place, right? Reassuring her that she can trust you in your leadership. Okay. And then I didn't talk about the intimate side of things as well. Um, dominating, dominating as well. Okay. You know, being forceful a little bit, not asking, just going for it. Okay. Women love that. Grabbing of the hair, throwing her around, pushing her up against the wall. Okay. Some women like to feel helpless a little bit. They like to feel helpless against you. Some women really like that. Um, but a lot of women really love the hair stuff. Um, they like to be held. That's very true. They like to be held either if it's up in the air, right? That's why I tell you guys go get fit, go in the gym, right? Because if you can carry her around like it's nothing, women really love that shit, dude. They really love that shit. I'm telling you, they love that shit. So, but dominating with other men, right? Being able to beat the shit out of them. Dominating when it comes to taking care of shit or taking care of shit, bills, um, household work, how stuff around the house. Maybe a tree needs to be cut down. Maybe bushes need to be trimmed. Maybe lawn needs to be mowed. Right? Trash needs to be taken out. Um, uh, when it comes to death in the family, pet, you know, parent, whatever, you're able to handle that. You're stoic. You're immovable. When it comes to again with intimacy, we're able to dominate her in that aspect as well. So um, that's pretty much going to wrap things up. If this helped you out, I hope it did. That's great. And if it did, again, please support the channel, support us here on the home turf. We're already at 250 subscribers. I should say family members, because again, I consider you guys family members, but I do mention subscribers because obviously, um, that's what YouTube says. So, but the home turf here is growing, right? The channel is growing, and that is absolutely amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I love that, right? And I'm so grateful that I can help you guys out. I love the fact that I can, just turn on the camera and I can talk with you guys for a little bit and help you out any way that I can. So, but that's also how you can help. You can also help support me specifically by taking a look at my Etsy. I do have some things to sell on my Etsy, but they are a little niche, right? I make dioramas. I only sell dioramas. I'm thinking about making little foam rocks and selling them as well. Just some stuff here and there. But dioramas, if that is something that interests you, right? Maybe you are collecting dioramas. Maybe you're looking for something for your 3D printed models. I know it's a little bit niche, but I do make pre-made bases for models. The only thing you would really have to do, right, is affix your models onto the base. Okay. So, but just so I'm not going into that too much, you can support me, right, in ways. I'm not going to be setting up a donation unless more people really start asking to donate, to me specifically. And there's something that I can put, that money to. And so, whether I really need it or because I've mentioned to you guys I do struggle, right? Since I'm a disabled veteran, it's hard to find work um, and keep it. But anyways, that is how you can support me. Um, and so I greatly appreciate that, guys. That means a lot to me. But just know that you engaging and commenting and just being the support there for me is more than I could ever ask for right now, or really ever. But I just want to thank you guys so much for that. You guys are fucking rock stars. You guys are killing it. So thank you much. Thank you so much for that. Um, please remember to take care of yourselves. Okay, please do. If you guys happen to have anything that you would like to talk about, a family member reached out to me just today, talked about something. So I'll be getting with them pretty soon. But if there's anything that you need from me, please reach out. You're more than welcome. More than welcome. I'll be more than happy to talk with you to help you out through whatever you're going through. Okay. And so also, when it comes to comments and everything like that, please, I would love to hear what you guys' experiences are. Right. Any way that you can also help someone out, please do that as well. So, um, that being said, just so I don't keep rambling on here, make sure you're taking care of yourselves, both mind and body. Right. Go get in the gym, just get active, get fit. Um, this is for both men and women. Okay. Um, I think 60% of Americans today are considered overweight, and 40% of Americans are considered obese. That's a huge problem, and that needs to be fixed. So, I've been seeing quite a few people who are getting in the gym, and they are transforming like transformers, really. So So that is absolutely insane, and I really love to see that. I really love it. I really love to see that. I want you guys to live long, healthy lives and happy lives. That's what I want to see for you guys. So, um, again, if you need anything from me, health wise or fitness wise, just ask. I know I'm not exactly in shape right now because I was in shape and I let myself go. Now I'm getting back into it. And so, if you need any information from me, just reach out and let me know. Okay, guys? So, um, also, if you have to talk with someone mental health wise, please do. Right? I would suggest you go to your boys first, okay, and then go and see a professional if you need a professional. But make sure you are not just stuffing that shit down. It doesn't work well for anybody. Okay, so make sure you're taking care of yourself, both mind and body, and take care of each other too. Right. This is what I was just talking about, a few moments ago. Someone's having a rough day in the comment section, lift them up. Okay, right. Or if someone needs uh, help in the comment section, and I'm not able to help them out, and you can, please do that. All right. So that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. I really hope that this helped you out. And if it did, that's awesome. I love to hear that. So, gonna keep this stuff up. I'm gonna keep at it, and hopefully this thing really grows. I would really love to see this thing really explode and become a massive platform for guys, anyone really, to come together and figure it out together. Okay, and just remember, guys, I don't have this all figured out, right? But what I do have figured out, I'll come to you and I'll share with you. Okay. So, um, that being said, guys, let's figure it out together. And again, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. I'll talk to you guys soon.